well. So during this, what we are going to do in this next 30 minutes is to look through the curtain and see what's actually behind Internet of Things and how we could categorize what's out there into different models, so that you as developers, when you are engaging in, you know, okay, this is the type of model that I am dealing with. So IoT is not a new term actually. It has been there for a few years. And even at the Gartner in 2013, in their hype curve at the expectations, IoT was somewhere there. Then on 2014, it reached the top. Then in 2015, it managed to retain in the top peak. We don't know what's going to be on 2016, but I'm pretty sure it will be still remain on the peak, because there are a lot of people talking about it. So if I just give you a briefing of the evolution of Internet to IoT, I'm sure we started from the mainframe, single computers, LAN, WAN, then we started on the World Wide Web, then we got the collaboration with Web 2.0, then mobile, likewise, it continues. And one of the misinterpretations of IoT is some believe M2M, machine-to-machine communication, also as IoT, which is not. Because when it comes to IoT, it always starts with people and it has to end with people. If I give an example, let's say if I have some sensing unit which has the ability to, let's say, sense the temperature, humidity, and upload those information to a cloud server, that system is not an IoT system, although it uses some sensors. But if there's another mobile application integrated with this, which utilizes these cloud services and tells you about the rainfalls, whether you should be taking your umbrella or not, then it's a total integrated system which will give you some experience to the user. So that's an IoT. And in fact, there are some ambient umbrellas out there. So what this does is, it's a simple thing. It will communicate with a backend server and identify based on the location, the weather predictions, and it will give you an ambient alarm saying, pick me, pick me, pick me, before you leave the home. So these kind of innovative concepts are happening in IoT, and always keep in mind, it has to start from the people and it has to end from the people. So now let's look at what are the business models. First of all, what is a business model? It's simply how you plan to make money. Right? Simple as that. And when doing it, there are a few things that you have to consider, like how you create and capture value, because sometimes value will not only be the money, but there will be some other components to it as well. So who it serves, what sets apart, key resources, delivery channels, and how it generates revenue, cost structure. Likewise, there are a lot of parts to it. And when it comes for the Internet of Things, the first thing that you have to keep in mind is there should be a mindset shift when you are dealing with IoT products compared to the traditional products. This mindset shift should be done in value creation as well as value capture. Now, in come for the value creation, usually the customer needs, when come for the traditional product mindset itself, is to solve the existing needs. But in the IoT, we are talking about the real-time and emergent needs. And offering-wise, there will be standalone products, but which will become obsolete over the time. But with the IoT, we always think about over-the-air updates, how we could update it to the next level. Like even the Tesla cars are updating their firmware over there to fix their bugs. And role of data. Now, this is really important. It's not that the traditional products didn't capture data, but those were mainly used to identify what kind of features that I should include, or how can I update my product to the next level. For example, if you are capturing a wear and tear component and the mean time between failures and those kind of parameters, then you'll be thinking, okay, this component is giving some trouble to me. So in my next product line, I should upgrade this component to a different one or more reliable one. But in the role of IoT, we always think of how we could enhance the user experience and how we could provide services based on the data that we capture. For example, even if I take the same umbrella example, like there will be systems which are collecting the weather conditions, but we are thinking of provide that ambient alarm is another service which provided through that umbrella. Then when come for the mindset in the value capturing part, now this is how we are going to make money. Now path to profit is always about sell the next product or device. Let's say if you are a TV manufacturer, you'll be thinking of, okay, this time I have only 24-inch TV, next time I'm going to think of giving you a 40-inch TV. But with the IoT, we always think of how we could come up with a recurring revenue model. Now, if I take the same TV example, now I'm sure you had seen the smart TVs. So there are a lot of applications or other services that you can embed it into it, so that while you are watching a movie, you can see what's happening out there. So likewise, there will be different services which could integrate, which will give you the recurring revenue part of it. And the controlling. Earlier we thought of, okay, how we could do the control by protecting the IP in the sense of intellectual property, like doing a patenting, or else creating a brand value. But with IoT, we always think of how we could do the personalize it. Because when it's personalized, when I'm getting a personalized experience, and all the devices out there in my room or in my home or in my office environment, when all those are interconnected, then there's a high chance that I won't go for another product because it's part of my life. And the capability development, it's leveraged more of the core competencies in the traditional product, and in the IoT, it always understand how the ecosystem or partners making their money, because we are talking about a huge ecosystem here. And this is important, like when it comes for the monetization part, there are 4 monetization models we discuss in the IoT. First is the hardware premium. Hardware premium always refers to giving a focused hardware component. Let's say if you are developing a unit, which and the focus will be the complex device. The focus will be very much limited because let's say if you are using a single board computer connected with few sensors, then your focus will be as developers to how we could capture the whatever the parameters that it needs to capture accurately, and most importantly, how we could transfer those information to the cloud. Like there should be some API, so some means to expose this data to the outside world. So these hardware premiums mostly comes with like a transaction, like you pay a certain amount and get those units, that's it. Then on top of it, we have the service revenue. Now service revenue is using this hardware, you can provide different services, like the giving weather conditions to your umbrella. And data revenue is like you collect the data and you sell it. Let's say if I'm wearing a Fitbit or some measuring unit, while I'm jogging, it will capture my heart rate, the distance that I had run, and those data will be uploaded to a cloud. But if I want to get over the years how I performed, and if I want to compare with the rest of the team, that data won't come free. So that's the data revenue part. And ecosystem building is about how we could collaborate with the customers and use all the hardware, different services, data, and different platforms, and how we could merge it together to give a personalized or customized experience. So the point that I want to make is, I'm sure like you may be developers, you may be project managers, you may be in the quality assurance, you may be in the business analysis, and sometimes you may be having electronics background, sometimes you may be having totally software engineering background. Because when you try to do some workshops, the software engineers don't come, because when you say IoT, they have a mindset, okay, now we have to deal with some sensors. We don't know electronics, so we are not going to come. So those are some typical mindsets that you have. But what I want to emphasize is, hardware premium is only one part of it. From here onwards, always software. So if you want to build an IoT solution, there are a lot of, based on your capability and based on your interest and based on your skill level, you can think of where you could fit in. Let's say if you are an electronics engineer who are hardened on electronics and who like to deal with physics and the sensing part, you can think of coming up with a hardware component. But if you are a software engineer who likes to do the big data analysis, then you can think of analyzing whatever the captured data. Then if you are into the service business, you can think of that. And if you have good analytical skills, if you can understand the customers and their needs, then you can think of coming up with the ecosystems so that you could merge these together and give more value addition to the customers. Okay. Now, once you have done that, then this part is really easy. Because now you have the models. Now this is all about how you could make money. You could either sell as a one-time charge, or you can pay for the results, like for each weather prediction, you can charge an amount. And freemium, have you heard about freemium before? No? Okay. Freemium means you give it for a certain time free, and after that, it's going to be a premium charge. So this is a widely used concept because IoT is also still the concepts. When we try to project it to the customers, they also don't believe, okay, we could get this much of benefits. So they are also not willing to, I would say, invest money on it. But when they start using it only, they will realize, okay, this is really good, and this gives me benefits, and this give me more profits. So by that time, then you can start charging them. So it's an easy way to get into the market. And there could be subscription models, pay-as-you-go models, and even for the ecosystems, you can go with like a fixed cost, fixed fee, transactional based, or revenue sharing based, because if you are dealing with a huge customer who likes to completely rebrand or reposition themselves using IoT, then you can go with, if you have a clear vision on, okay, this much of revenue can be generated, then you can even go for revenue sharing model as well. And IoT is everywhere, and you can apply it for home, medical, factories, retail, governance, agriculture, you name it. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Based on your skill level, you can apply. Now let's have a look at a scenario, because I'm sure hardware, premium, service, and data you can easily understand. So I thought of giving you an example of a case study on how we could build an ecosystem. Now, I'm taking this example targeting a tier 1 retailer. And these facts were taken from the net from different sources. As you could see here, 86 said they'd be willing to pay up to 25% more for a better experience. Usually we think people would go for shops where they could find the price is less. But it's not the case. 86% is willing to pay 25% more if the experience that they are getting from that shop is perfect. So that means like if it's a usual retail price is 100 rupees, they are still willing to pay 125 if they are getting a better experience. And that's the same reason a lot of retailers are banking on IoT technologies to catch shoppers and integrate with them and give them a better experience so that even they jack up their prices a little bit more, still they are willing to accept it. Okay, now having this in mind, now typical retail store, these are some of the things that people usually do, right? We check for prices, we maybe check in some online promotions, and we maybe fit on, and there be some window shoppers as well. Now, the scenario that we are trying to develop is, now this is for, as I said, tier 1 retail, and they have their website as well as their mobile application. And when they are browsing, we are giving them the option to add whatever the interested items into their wish list. Because by the time you finish this one, you will realize this is so simple, and even you could do it. Of course, this is a very simple concept, but what you have to think of is the impact that it creates. So what we are giving them is from the website as well as from their mobile apps, we are giving them the option to add to their wish list. And now the item that I want to purchase or what I like to have are in my mobile wallet. So when I'm driving and when I'm going near one of those stores, then I'll be getting the alert comparing with the item in my wish list and the item in the store, saying, okay, these particular items are in the in this particular store, why don't you turn your car? And the moment you enter, we'll be giving them a large display where it will prompt you with the personalized greeting, with the user identification. And from there onwards, we are giving them a personalized journey. Because now we know who the person is, and also we know what are the items that he or she is interested in. Then we are giving them the trending items, the promotions which are out there, and the location in the store where he or she could easily go and pick it up. All those information will be provided. Then we had designed a digital hangar. Now here, the only trick to this hangar is, the moment you lift this hangar, you can get a notification with the unique ID of the item to the backend. So we know someone is interested in this particular item. So the moment she picks up, the notification will go to the backend, and with that, we'll be displaying in a nearby screen the promotions and what are the other items which would go with it, so that although you came to purchase a dress, we are giving them the option to the matching shoes, matching handbags, and we are basically completing the look. So that end of the day, and this story goes on, I'm not going to continue with this use case, but this is how we engage with the customer using the technology and create a different experience for the shoppers. Now, what are the challenges for you? First will be the lack of shared infrastructure and common standards, because when it comes for the IoT, still there are no common standards accepted by all the regions. Because European Union is trying to come up with one, and there'll be different, when the giants who are trying to come up with their own platforms, saying, okay, this is the most IoT enabled platform. Likewise, still there's a little bit of a fight going on. Also, the cost and energy, because when you are dealing with these sensors, like sometimes those needs to be run on battery powered, so you can't eat up a lot of battery, because if you ask the retailers to change the batteries every 6 months, then they won't purchase it. And big data, because there will be a lot of data pumping into the system, so you have to think of what are the best way to handle this big data. And big code. What is this big code? Because when you are trying to do the ecosystem building, you will be utilizing someone else's hardware, someone else services, someone else different platforms. So the total code will be this much, but to integrate and give you the solution, the code that you'll be writing will be this much. But if there's a bug in this big code, you'll be the person who's going to suffer because you are the one who's providing the end solution to the customer. So those are some challenges that we'll be having when trying to do this kind of integration. And there'll be different information models, how we are going to model the information, and security, privacy. Likewise, there'll be different set of concerns. And innovation, standards, and hardware platform, those are still open at the moment. But there are platforms out there which you can readily use. And even the business models, like there'll be different business models coming as well, irrespective of, apart from the things that I mentioned. And getting into business in IoT, what are the things that you have to consider? First, you have to connect your vision with the real customer needs. Because you can't create a fake need and give them a solution. That won't work. But if you really analyze and identify, okay, this is the customer need, and in order to meet that need, if you could think of the options, and because there'll be many potential scenarios to solve, but focus on one meaningful service. That's important because once you evaluate, I'm sure you will come up with a lot of options that you could offer the solution. But you have to think of a meaningful way that you could provide the service. If I again linked with that Ambient umbrella, you could even send the alert to your mobile phone saying there's going to be rain. But when it's raining, can you hold your mobile phone onto your head? No, right? That's why it's integrated with the umbrella so that it will make sure when it's raining, there's a solution for you as well. And integrate physical and digital development. So there'll be different development skill sets and processors. As I said earlier, like for the people who are dealing with the hardware, you have to think of one angle. And if you are dealing with the services or data, you have to think in another angle. And for the ecosystem, you have to have a different set of skills. And one of the challenges would be, it's very difficult to find all in one place. Because even if you take the software industry in Sri Lanka, like there'll be different organizations who are experts in different verticals. So you can't find all in one place, but always you have to think of how we could collaborate and provide the total solutions. So what you could do is you can either build hardware or software by own, or you can simply purchase and bundle it up, or you can partner and bridge different business models and using IoT new business avenues. So this is the nutshell. What I want to mention is like you all are developers, and you may be some program managers, and you may be even senior managers as well, because I don't have your profiles with me. But when it comes for the IoT, it's applicable for you all. For you all, there's a role that you can play. It's not that IoT is specific only for this vertical or this company. It's not the case. Because there's a position for you all. And my final message is, let's jump at it. Any questions? Yes, basically we are mainly focusing on the, we have two parts. One is on the ecosystem building, where we are providing the platforms, as well as we've been working with retailers for a long time. So with that experience, we know what kind of the problems that the customers are facing and the retailers are facing. So with that, we are giving them the ecosystems, and at the same time, like the digital hangar and that kind of concepts, we are trying to come up with the unique hardware features so that it will solve the problem. Because that kind of solution, sometimes it's not out there readily available. Sometimes you can purchase, but if you go through a standard route, it will take a lot of time. Like if you talk to a giant, and they will take a lot of time to build and manufacture and bring it on. So by that time, the customer need may have got changed. So with that, we are doing the hardware premium components, as well as we are into the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. It's more by the software, I would say, because when you're doing the ecosystems, like it will be mostly go as the fixed cost fee. We are trying with the revenue share, but it didn't work yet. Yes. Based on the need, actually, we may be partnering with the different vendors. Like we are doing another concept with the e-ink papers, like the electronic signage. So likewise, when that expertise is not available with us, although like we can get some engineers to develop it, it will take about 6 or 1 year to get the product out. But without waiting for that long, if the things are readily out there, we will go ahead with the partnership, because of this rapid changes which are happening, like we can't keep the customer too long. We have to always go in an agile mode, saying, okay, this is your need, and this is the small prototype, and likewise we have to keep on building it. Okay. Okay.
So if you want to modernize it using these digital IoT devices,
yeah.
then what is the chance of these businesses to be part of their businesses? So how does it happen?
Yeah. It depends, actually. Like it's not a matter of who is the biggest vendor or who is the smallest vendor. So what we always try, because always what we are looking at is, there's a customer who is willing to accept, who is having some problems, and if you can pitch to the customer, okay, this is the problem, and by using this system, you can come up with increase your revenue or reduce your cost. Then to cater that, then we think of, okay, who are the partners. Sometimes even the customers may suggest, okay, I had already invested this much on this ERP, but I'm not going to go ahead with another ERP. You better integrate with my ERP. So that kind of demands are there. So we have to, like, it's like based on the request we have to consider. Okay then, thank you so much. Thanks for listening.